my god.
Oh my god!
Now that is how you outdo the original. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for today, this one's going to be doing my review for Red Dead Redemption 2. Holy shit. Holy damn. Okay, so this is the sequel to Red Dead Redemption 1. However, it's actually a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, which is the instant hook to me with the idea of this game. Now, Red Dead Redemption 1 obviously focused on a character named John Marston. This game focuses on a character named Arthur Morgan. And this is way before Red Dead Redemption 1. Years and years before. It focuses on a character named Arthur Morgan, and he works for a man named Dutch Van der Linde, which is the old psycho from Red Dead Redemption 1. Obviously, there was a villain in the first game. He, obviously went down, and, well, if you're watching this review, you probably have played Red Dead Redemption 1. I'm going to let you know there's spoilers for both games, so you've been warned. Dutch dies, obviously, in the first game, right? So, in this game, we obviously have Dutch that is kind of the big boss, and he, has Arthur working for him. And basically, kind of to recap kind of the beginning here, we have kind of a robbery that goes south on a train. And obviously they need their money, they need to, do all that to get like an early retirement, basically, is their ultimate goal. And he's got a lot of guys working for him. Like, this Dutch guy has a lot of dudes working for him. We get introduced to some of the new characters, Arthur Morgan being our lead, obviously, and, we get a lot of really cool different locations. There's a lot of different locations in this game that I thought were really good. Valentine being one of my favorite ones. And there's a few other locations you kind of end up going to. But I thought this game was visually just incredible. I mean, you get the premise at the beginning, you get these guys that are, their goal is to get an early retirement. They rob people, they kill people, they do all this stuff for Dutch, and obviously Arthur is our main guy. And let me just take a second to appreciate the visuals of this fucking game. This game is so nice looking, and obviously it came out in 2018, but for a 2018 game that hasn't been remastered and looks that good on my PS5, holy shit. Like, genuinely. No, I'm going to say it. To me, the best visually looking game I've ever played. Ever. And I've played Ghost of Tsushima. This game looks fucking good. This game looks so damn good. There were so many moments where I was just taking a pause on the story and just riding around, just doing whatever, just messing around. And I couldn't help but just explore. The game looks so nice. It looks so visually appealing, and it's honestly incredible to me that this game is damn near 10 years old, almost, in a few years. That is insane. So, yeah, love it. Absolutely love the visuals of the game. The gameplay, by the way, also incredible. Love everything about the gameplay. Love everything about the visuals. You get a lot of different, time periods in this. And, well, it's funny. This game takes place over the course of, like, 10 years. So, this game has a lot of depth to it. It has a lot of time to it. And the introductory part is really just the beginning of this. Now let's go into some of the other things that goes on in this game here that, kind of elevates why I think this is one of the greatest games of all time. Obviously, we get, like, kind of a portion here where the wars kind of get so crazy that Dutch takes his guys off and they go to Cuba, right? So that's, like, the big portion we get there. We get a massive part of the game here where they're in this location. Obviously, some of the guys that they betrayed come after them, as you would naturally expect. And basically, you have a massive shootout going on. Now, I gotta admit, I had a lot of fun with the frickin' turret as you're frickin' going after these dudes, you know what I mean? I had a lot of fun, admittedly, maybe too much fun. It was a really good time. The gameplay felt so real. Again, especially on PS5, it felt like just such a breath of fresh air for a Western-style game. A lot of Western games, I feel like, are kind of the same. This one, you genuinely feel everything you do. The characters are engaging, and, well, we find out in this one that Arthur Morgan has tuberculosis, which is a massive hit to the story here. Massive information dump here. So, obviously, knowing this, Arthur kind of knows, like, yeah, okay, I gotta live every day to its fullest, you know what I mean? And, I like how they treat this, though, because in this time period, I mean, you hear that shit, you're like, okay, shit, like, you know, like it's kind of over for me, you know what I mean? So it's sad genuinely to see that, but I got to say the way they handled it was very real to that time, you know? And I felt very bad for him. But Arthur was a very relatable character instantly. He was instantly likable. The actor did a phenomenal job. And to be honest, once you kind of got to that portion of it, I was kind of just like, shit, man. Like, what the hell? What's going to happen now? So that's kind of when the big stuff starts to come in, and that's when you really start to be like, damn. This story's deep. Now, obviously, things start to get out of hand. Dutch starts to kind of just lose, you know, track of who he even is at this point. He starts to go more crazy as the game goes on, and you get a lot of moments. You get a train robbery that goes down. You get John that gets injured in this one. Abigail, who's fucking captured, which, yes, John, Abigail, right? Sound familiar? So this, I love this shit, man. It's so cool. You know, it's funny. I played this game first, so I didn't have any of this shit, you know, before. But seeing the first game and then going back on some of this shit, and I'm just like, wow, this shit is fucking cool, man. This shit is so cool. And frickin', obviously, we find out, you know, that obviously who the rat is, obviously. You kind of get the conflict that goes on from there. The game goes fucking nuts. You get Arthur and Dutch that basically kind of face off here. And Micah here is kind of the final antagonist that is part of this gang, obviously, and he's been a problem throughout a lot of this game, you know what I mean, but ultimately it comes down to him versus, you know, Dutch, and him versus Arthur, and the conflict is just to an all-time high. Arthur finally has enough of Dutch, he finally has enough of this life, he finally has enough of everything here, and basically, well, you get the final moments here between Arthur and Micah, and, well, you could either have two different endings. You could either have Arthur naturally dying, obviously, of natural causes, obviously, you know, which was inevitable to begin with, and you get this beautiful sunset, you know, moment, which is the big ending that I think a lot of people like, or Micah kills him, which I think was kind of an insane one as well too. So it's up to you in terms of the player, you know, which one you kind of go with, what kind of ending you get, you know. I guess it's not really necessarily up to you, but in terms of where the story goes and kind of your decisions and everything, that's kind of, you know, ultimately where it could all go. So I have the natural ending with him. I went that way, but I do know that there is a different version of it. So obviously where he gets killed. So that is obviously up to kind of what the viewers, you know, and game players obviously want. So that's, you know, in terms of Red Dead 2 and in terms of the end of Arthur's story. And obviously we know Dutch survives because of the first game where he dies in that one. So that one kind of plays itself out. And obviously now we're left with John and kind of his remaining story, which makes you wonder. Because I was kind of thinking, like, when I first played this game, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, okay, you know, Arthur's dead, you know, and that's kind of the end of the story, and I was kind of like, okay, that's it, great game, loved it all, 10 out of 10, right? That's what I was thinking at first. And then you get another, like, huge chunk of story at the end here. Well, then the rest of the game is led by John Marston, which, I mean, you're practically in Red Dead 1 territory by this point, but basically, this is after Arthur's death, this is after everything goes down, and basically we have John, Abigail, Jack, obviously his family, stuff like that, and they are basically living out, you know, the rest of their lives. He goes by, like, a different name and stuff like that. I think it's, like, Jim Milton, I think, something like that. Yeah, I believe that's what they call him. And it was just like, oh my god, like, I mean, the name is crazy to me, but that's kind of what he goes by. He kind of tries to live under a, you know, a new name, a new, you know, type of look and stuff like that. He looks awfully different as well, too. But then you have Sadie that comes back, right? Who, at the very end, obviously, she was part of the gang to begin with. She comes back, and she talks to John Marston, obviously. And her, John, and obviously Abigail go after, well, Micah and obviously, you know, Dutch himself. And I thought it was pretty insane, because Dutch doesn't give a shit. You have a big final moment between all of them. You get a massive, massive battle between all of them, and Micah ends up getting killed by Dutch, and then Dutch flees, obviously. So Dutch basically has nothing at this point. Kills Micah, gets the hell out of there, and you have John and the others that basically go back, live in this, you know, small house and stuff, and basically that's the end of Red Dead Redemption 1, where obviously the law finds them, and then that goes into Red Dead Redemption 1, where John is looking for his family, and obviously we learn about that as we go. So yeah, it lines up. It literally lines right up to Red Dead Redemption 1. It's absolutely brilliant the way it's done. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. So that is how you do a sequel, people, and that is how you do a fucking, well, I guess, prequel as well. You know, it's a sequel in the number status, but it's also a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, right? So it's absolutely mind-blowing the way they do this. I absolutely adore this fucking game. This, to me, and I know this might be a very controversial thing, I think this is the best game that's ever been made. Is it my favorite game ever made? You could toss that around a bit more. But in terms of objectively the best story ever told in a video game, I think this is the best one. Genuinely. At least in my opinion, I've never seen such a good prequel and sequel story told. Lining things up so well. So many great characters. Arthur, John, Sadie, Dutch. I mean, there's so many. There is so many. Micah. I mean, the list just goes on and on. This game genuinely outdid itself, in my opinion. This game outdid itself. It's so good to where when I hear rumblings about a potential Red Dead Redemption 3, I'm like, I kind of do like a side eye. I'm kind of like, what? Like, what could you possibly do? Like, I guess you could follow Jack after what he did, right? At the end of Red Dead 1, I guess you could do that, but I don't really think there's any need for that, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I'm going to do a discussion video on the idea of Red Dead 3. Now that I've played these two games, I do want to kind of talk about the idea, because I think these games work so well off each other that you don't need anything else, honestly. I think these games work perfectly good the way they are, and to be honest, I don't really think we need a Red Dead 3, in my opinion. But there's always room for more, obviously. We know there's always room for more, so you never know, right? You never know what could happen. But in terms of Red Dead Redemption 2, 10 out of 10. Gameplay, characters, voice acting, prequel information, sequel information, all of that shit. Showing the realism of that timeline. Perfectly fucking told. Perfectly accurate. The music, I mean, dear God, the music, for one thing. Oh my lordy. That final track, especially, I mean, damn. Like, they really, whoever composed the music for this, genuinely, great freaking job. This game was so damn good. So goated, such a great journey, and genuinely, I've never seen anything like it. In terms of gaming, I think this is Rockstar's best game they've ever made. In terms of the ones I've played, at least. I haven't played everything Rockstar related, but I've played a decent amount of their games. It's the best one I've witnessed. Red Dead 2, 110%. And I'd probably put Red Dead 1 right behind it, honestly. That's, in my opinion at least, I think it's to that level. So, I love these games. They're both amazing. Thank you all so much for recommending these games to me, y'all, over the years. Because it genuinely was y'all that convinced me to do so. And I finally caved. I was like, all right, screw it. Let's do it, you know? So yeah, that's Red Dead's franchise right there. Thank y'all for watching. Post your comments down below. Do you want a Red Dead 3? Let me know. Are you kind of like me, where you're kind of like, I think I'm good. I think these stories work good on their own. But, you know, I mean, you never know. You never know what they're going to do. So, anyway, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.